In this video, we're revealing 9 powerful signs that a woman is ready to sleep with you. Signs most men completely overlook. Get ready, because these might just change the way you see every interaction. Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss a single one. 1. One of the most obvious signs a woman is physically attracted to you is when she initiates physical touch. This could be something as simple as her touching your arm when she laughs or brushing her hand against yours. It may seem small, but women don't usually touch someone they're not comfortable with. If she's getting physically close, it's a strong sign she feels attracted to you and might be thinking about taking things further. Pay attention to how often she touches you and how comfortable she seems doing it. This can tell you a lot about her feelings. Eye contact can be a huge indicator of attraction. If a woman is making prolonged eye contact with you, it's a sign she's interested. She might hold your gaze a little longer than usual or glance at you often during the conversation. When women are attracted, they use their eyes to connect and communicate without words. You might even notice her pupils dilate when she looks at you, a subtle sign that she's into you. When a woman compliments the way you look, it's more than just being nice. It could be her way of telling you she's paying attention to you in a more intimate way. If she frequently comments on your style, your hair, or even your physique, she's probably thinking about you more than just a friend. These compliments are often subtle signs that she's physically attracted to you. If a woman wants to spend time alone with you, especially in private settings, it can be a big hint that she's interested in something more than just hanging out. She might suggest going somewhere quieter, inviting you to her place, or finding reasons to stay with you after a group event ends. Being alone makes it easier for her to express her attraction physically. So if she's making that effort, pay attention. When the conversation shifts to more personal or intimate topics, this can be a clear signal she's comfortable with you and is testing the waters to see how you react. She might start talking about past relationships, her preferences, or even more direct topics related to sex. This is often her way of showing she's open to something physical and seeing if you feel the same. If a woman is being playful and teasing you in a flirty way, it's often a sign of physical attraction. She might joke around, playfully touch you, or give you that mischievous smile. This kind of playful interaction is her way of showing she's relaxed and comfortable around you, and also signaling she's thinking about you romantically or physically. Believe it or not, women are very sensitive to smells. If she compliments the way you smell or mentions that she likes your cologne, she's probably more attracted to you than she's letting on. Scent is strongly connected to attraction, and if she's paying attention to how you smell, it's likely because she's physically drawn to you. Body language is key in understanding how a woman feels. If she leans in close when talking to you, it's a sign she feels comfortable being near you. She might lower her voice, creating an intimate atmosphere, or just sit closer to you in general. When she's in your personal space, it's often because she wants to be. Sometimes physical attraction can make people nervous. If she's usually calm and confident but starts to act a little shy, fidgety, or blushes around you, it could be because she's feeling a strong attraction. She might play with her hair, bite her lip, or struggle to find her words. This nervous energy is often a sign that she's attracted to you and is thinking about more than just friendship. Lesson 2. Bad-mouthing her husband. Bad-mouthing a husband might seem like harmless venting, a way to blow off steam, especially when the daily stresses of life build up. It often happens during casual conversations with friends, family, or even online. But here's the hidden truth. When a woman frequently speaks poorly about her husband, it can erode not just their relationship, but also the perception of their marriage in the eyes of others. Imagine this. A couple starts with love, mutual respect, and trust. But over time, little frustrations, unwashed dishes, missed appointments, or lack of communication grow into bigger grievances. Instead of addressing these issues directly with her husband, the woman turns to her friends or social media. Each negative comment, no matter how small, plants seeds of doubt and bitterness. When a woman mouths her husband, even in what seems like innocent jest, she unknowingly chips away at the foundation of their marriage. The respect starts to crumble. Her words may influence how others view her husband, and worse, it can change how she sees him herself. What begins as minor complaints can spiral into deep resentment. Think about it. Words have power. And when those words are constantly negative, they build an atmosphere of hostility, even if the husband never hears them. The trust, once a cornerstone of the relationship, starts to weaken. And once respect is lost, it's a difficult road to rebuild. So why does this happen? Often, it stems from unresolved issues. Instead of confronting problems head-on, some women may feel unheard or frustrated and find it easier to talk to others rather than their spouse. But here's the danger. The more she talks to others instead of him, the more distant they become. The irony is, what she truly desires is connection, understanding, and affection from her husband. But the act of mouthing him only creates a larger divide. It's a vicious cycle. If you found yourself in a similar situation where talking behind your partner's back feels like the only way to cope, it's not too late to turn things around. Open communication, counseling, and learning to focus on the positive aspects of your relationship can start the healing process. Instead of spreading negativity, work together to rebuild the respect and love that may have been lost. In the end, relationships thrive on understanding, patience, and kindness. Venting may feel good in the moment, but it can have long-lasting effects that harm both partners. By choosing to talk openly with your spouse and addressing problems directly, you can create a healthier, happier marriage. After all, a strong relationship is built not by tearing each other down, but by lifting each other up. Lesson 3: Opening conversations. Opening conversations. It's something that seems simple. But in reality, it can feel intimidating, even overwhelming. Whether it's meeting someone new, reconnecting with an old friend, or trying to break the ice with a romantic interest, the way we begin conversations sets the tone for everything that follows. We've all been there. You're sitting across from someone, perhaps over a coffee, a work meeting, or even a casual gathering. You want to speak, but the words don't seem to flow. Your mind races, trying to find the right thing to say. Should you ask a question, make a comment, or maybe just stay silent? The pressure of not knowing how to start can make the moment feel heavier. What many of us don't realize is that opening conversations isn't about having the perfect words, or trying to impress. It's about connection. It's about showing interest, being present, and creating a space where the other person feels comfortable. Opening conversations can be as simple as asking, "How are you feeling today?" Or "What's been on your mind lately?" These are not just questions. They are invitations. Invitations as someone to share their thoughts, their feelings, and their experiences. But here's the key. Opening a conversation isn't just about asking questions. It's about listening. True conversations start when you're not only focused on what to say next, but on what the other person is saying in the moment. Think about the conversations that have mattered most to you. They probably didn't start with grand speeches or rehearsed lines. They started with something simple. Maybe it was a small observation, a shared laugh, or a heartfelt question that opened the door to a meaningful exchange. The best conversations begin with curiosity, wanting to understand the other person, to hear their story. It's in those moments of openness that we build trust, connection, and even deeper relationships. But here's the challenge. Sometimes we hesitate to open conversations because we fear judgment or rejection. We wonder if what we say will be awkward, if the other person will respond, or if the conversation will fall flat. And yes, sometimes conversations don't flow perfectly. But that's okay. The important part is trying. Because every conversation, no matter how small, is a chance to build connection. So, how can we open conversations with more ease and confidence? It starts with mindfulness. Pay attention to the moment. What is the energy in the room? How does the other person feel? Acknowledge what's real in that moment and use it to guide the conversation. Sometimes simply noticing the environment around you or commenting on what's happening can break the ice. Then, focus on empathy. Everyone wants to be heard and understood. When you open a conversation with kindness and a genuine interest in the other person, you create a space where meaningful dialogue can grow. And remember, it's not just about talking. It's about listening without distraction, without planning your next words, but truly engaging in the moment. Opening conversations isn't just a social skill. It's an opportunity for connection. In every conversation, you have the chance to brighten someone's day, to learn something new, or to offer a moment of comfort. Whether you're speaking to a friend, a colleague, or someone you've just met, your words have the power to open doors. Don't be afraid to start small. Sometimes a simple, "How are you?" can turn into a conversation that lasts hours. Other times, a single, thoughtful question can spark a deep, meaningful connection. Lesson: 4 reasons for cheating. The reasons for cheating are complex, and no two situations are the same. While it's easy to label infidelity as simply an act of selfishness or disrespect, the reality often runs deeper. Cheating is a symptom of underlying problems, emotional struggles, and unmet needs. And while it never justifies the hurt it causes, understanding the reasons can offer insights into how relationships can break down and how they might be saved before reaching that point. One of the most common reasons for cheating is emotional disconnection. When the emotional bond between partners weakens, one or both may seek validation or comfort elsewhere. The feeling of being unheard or misunderstood can be devastating in a relationship. Over time, people drift apart emotionally, creating a void that might be filled by someone outside the relationship who offers attention, understanding, or even affection. In these cases, cheating isn't always about physical desire. It can be about filling an emotional gap, something that feels missing within the relationship. Emotional cheating, in fact, can be just as damaging as physical infidelity. Sometimes even more so, because it represents a deep disconnection from one's partner. Another major reason for cheating is unmet sexual needs or desires. Over time, the physical aspect of relationships can change. Life gets busy, routines settle in, and intimacy can sometimes fall by the wayside. When one partner feels sexually unfulfilled, they may be tempted to seek satisfaction elsewhere. But this is rarely about just sex. It's often about feeling desired, attractive, or valued in ways that might be lacking at home. Then there's the issue of novelty and excitement. Some people cheat because they crave the thrill of something new. The spark, the rush of attraction, the feeling of being pursued. Long-term relationships can sometimes feel predictable, and while stability is comforting, some people struggle with the monotony. For them, cheating can be a way to recapture the excitement they feel has faded. But beyond emotional and physical dissatisfaction, there are deeper psychological reasons behind infidelity. Some people cheat as a way to cope with personal insecurities. They may feel inadequate, unloved, or undeserving, and cheating becomes a form of validation. The attention and approval they receive from someone new temporarily boost their self-esteem, filling a void they haven't addressed within themselves. For others, cheating is driven by a need for power or control. It may stem from feelings of neglect, resentment, or even a desire to assert independence. In such cases, the act of cheating is not just about the affair itself. It's a way to regain a sense of autonomy or control over their life, especially when they feel trapped or powerless in their current relationship. Sometimes, cheating happens because people don't fully understand their own needs or aren't emotionally equipped to handle the issues in their relationship. Instead of confronting problems directly, they turn to infidelity as a temporary escape from the discomfort or dissatisfaction they feel. Another crucial factor is opportunity. When circumstances align, a business trip, a social event, or even a chance encounter, some people, without necessarily planning it, find themselves tempted. It's not always about looking for an affair, but rather stumbling into one. Opportunity combined with weak boundaries or poor impulse control can lead to a momentary lapse in judgment that has long-lasting consequences. But, no matter the reason, cheating leaves behind a trail of destruction. The person who cheats might feel guilt, shame, or even regret, but the person betrayed is left to pick up the pieces of broken trust. The pain of being cheated on is immense. Self-doubt, insecurity, and emotional wounds that can take years to heal. What's important to understand is that cheating rarely happens in a vacuum. It's often the result of ongoing issues that were ignored, misunderstood, or unresolved. Relationships take work, consistent communication, emotional intimacy, and mutual effort. When one or both partners neglect these areas, the foundation can begin to crack, and that's when infidelity creeps in. But the story doesn't always have to end in heartache. For some couples, cheating becomes a wake-up call, an opportunity to address the underlying problems that led to the affair in the first place. With open communication, therapy, and mutual effort, it's possible for some relationships to heal and even grow stronger after infidelity. But that requires honesty, vulnerability, and a commitment to rebuilding trust, something not all couples are willing or able to do. Lesson 5. She talks about intimate topics. Something deeper is happening. Imagine this. You're having a conversation, and suddenly she begins to bring up topics that go beyond the surface. Discussions about personal experiences, past relationships, dreams, fears, and even desires. These aren't the usual everyday chats. They're revealing, vulnerable, and emotionally charged. So, what does it mean when a woman starts opening up about these kinds of things? What's really going on behind those conversations about intimacy? When a woman feels comfortable enough to talk about intimate topics, it's often a sign that she trusts you. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful connection, and talking about personal, intimate matters isn't something that just happens with anyone. It means she feels safe in your presence, safe enough to be open and honest. Talking about intimate topics, especially in the early stages of getting to know someone, is her way of testing emotional waters. It's a window into her thoughts, feelings, and inner world. These conversations are her way of saying, I'm showing you a part of myself that I don't show everyone else. But what kinds of topics count as intimate? It could be her sharing details about past relationships, what worked, what didn't, and how they shaped who she is today. She might talk about her deepest fears, fear of failure, of not being good enough, or even her fear of being hurt again. These are not easy things to talk about, and when she shares them with you, it shows a level of vulnerability that she might not offer to just anyone. She may even discuss her thoughts about love, sex, and intimacy itself. These topics are usually reserved for people she feels an emotional connection with, people she feels could handle and respect the depth of her emotions. And when these conversations start happening, it's often because she's exploring how you'll react. Are you open to deep emotional exchanges, or do you shy away from them? There's another layer to this. When she brings up intimate topics, she's also gauging how you respond to her openness. Are you empathetic? Do you listen with genuine interest, or are you dismissive? Your response to her vulnerability could make or break the connection. If she feels supported, validated, and understood, it only strengthens the bond. But if she senses judgment or disinterest, it could shut down that emotional flow altogether. In many ways, talking about intimate topics is her way of measuring how emotionally available you are. She's looking for someone who can match her in depth, someone who can handle the seriousness of her thoughts and feelings without being overwhelmed. This openness can also be a sign of attraction. Talking about personal matters naturally brings two people closer. And often, it's her way of testing the waters to see if the relationship could move to a deeper, more intimate level. By sharing her experiences and inner world, she's inviting you into a space where emotional and even physical intimacy might soon follow. But it's important to remember that with this openness comes responsibility. When a woman shares intimate details about her life, it's crucial to respect her vulnerability. Handle these conversations with care, because they are significant milestones in building trust. These moments can either strengthen your connection or weaken it, depending on how you respond. Not every conversation about intimate topics is a guarantee of romantic interest, but it's always a sign that she feels some level of connection and comfort. Whether it's the early stages of a budding relationship or a deeper bond in the making, intimate conversations show that she sees you as someone worth trusting with her emotions and thoughts. Now we are about to end the video. Now it is time to change your life. Write down a comment and say that you want to change your life, no matter how difficult it is to change. I will read each of your comment and feature one of the best comment in our channel. If you want a daily dose of unfiltered motivation, subscribe to our channel.